Alright, a little bit of Dynamite. Now, I know the sound is a little awkward than it normally is. It sounds a little bit more up, but then it sounds a little distorted. I have not gotten batteries for my Zoom X1N mic due to the fact that the reason that I didn't do my NXT review is because a couple of days ago I twisted my ankle. It hurts. I'm alright. It'll recover, but I have not been able to get some batteries and I hurt my ankle, so I've been trying to stay and rest my leg. So I want to make this clear. This may be a very short video. I'm going to try and do as much as I can. I'll talk a little bit about NXT before I start my Dynamite review, but I just somehow twisted it. If you're asking where, I just twisted it. It's easy to do when you're walking with a cane, but I digress. Let's get to NXT. Did I think what happened with Soul was good? It wasn't unexpected, the end of the match. Pretty much when Zarya was going up against a little bit of Jason James. I wasn't surprised that she would mess up the match. There's a good chance to Saturday it will be a triple threat. Or they're just going to DQ the match again, so Zarya will never get the opportunity. But that's just me. Next, when it came to Ricky Saints, I got my paper here, came to Ricky Saints, I'm telling you right now, him doing a Joe Henry concert sucked, and it was meant to suck. He did that on purpose. It was shit. It was meant to be shit on purpose. Joe Henry destroying him, fine. The one that hurts me the most, that pisses me off the most, when it came to the Speed tournament, when you see Sinclair versus Nikita Lyons. My boys, I want Nikita Lyons to leave WWE. The girl's been there for 3 years, nearing 4, I believe. At least 3 years. 2 to 3 years easily. I'm done with her being there. She can talk. She can wrestle better than most. Yes. Who don't want that? She is gorgeous physically. She could have brunette hair. She can have regular flat out black hair, unlike my grayish hair. She can be just a brunette. I don't care. She can be redhead. I don't care. It's not about her hair being a blonde. The girl is a good wrestler. She can talk. She does have personality, and she got some personalities. So altogether, she's pretty good. She ain't great, but she's good. And she loses again, and worse yet, she is on Evolve. About to say Revolution. Evolve. I want her to leave the company and just go somewhere. Go to TNA. I would rather see her go to TNA than stay where she is. Flat out, that's it. Did I care about Miles Bourne having to defend his title in the opening of the show against Ethan, but without their ring gear? They're in their regular street clothes. There's a fight. Ethan's own shoe is used against him, so he loses. If you want to make Bourne like he's never going to beat anybody, that's wrong. You have to make him beat people at any cost. He doesn't care. And that's the way it's going to be. The question's going to be, and I got to say this clearly, when it comes to Miles Bourne, I say Evan, sorry. Miles Bourne, they need to keep doing this. I'm not saying it's great, but it is what's needed to be done. I'm sure there's a little bit more, but I'm going to leave it. Let's get to the show. Okay, make this quick. Ankle's hurting. Opening of the show, MJF versus Kevin Knight. Really? I'm going to say this. No build for Kevin Knight. No straight up build. You're talking about what happened on Collision. Doing it here, don't buy it. Didn't care about it. It actually angered me. Because if you're thinking about Kevin Knight, if you really want to make him important, why is he having to do something like this? Where Brody had his opportunity, having to be built up and go for an eliminator match when he doesn't even deserve it. And he wins. And yes, he did a good match, but it's not the point. He wasn't built correctly. It was rushed and it wasn't built better than it should be. Here, Kevin Knight, they just threw the match out and make him open the show. That's MJF. And I'm like, dude, what's the point? What was the point of that? We knew he wasn't going to lose. And we're still 1 week away. It's on the 15th. No, 2 weeks away. It's on the 15th, I believe. Is it 1 week or 2 week? I think it's 2 weeks away. I could be wrong. I'm kind of blanking because my ankle hurts. But I didn't understand why they went there. Now, with Brody King dealing with Swerve Strickland, seeing who's the most dangerous guy there, I'm fine with that because Swerve has to be built up enough that if not, well, I shouldn't say if, when Hangman Page wins that title from MJF, you'll have something that's going to be for both of them. You got to reestablish the most dangerous man. And yes, Brody's dangerous, but not he's the dangerous. And what happened? He gets choked out by a chain. And that's Brody King. Next. Inspiration versus the Brawling Birds. I want to do a close-up, but I don't think I'm going to be able to catch it. And I don't want to distort the phone. The camera, not the phone. Oh, I wish I got batteries for my Zoom X1. I don't have no batteries, so I got to use the mic on my Canon M6, which is okay, but not great, and it's pissing me off. And this really should have pissed me off more than it should. Let's make this clear. Did I think the Inspiration were going to win? Hell no. Let's make this clear. The Inspiration, Cass and Jess, were given a lot in TNA. The first time they came around, they were cared about. And you could say, and I did, a lot about them not being great wrestlers. I mean, Cass can wrestle. Jess is awkward in the ring. But they can do it when they can. But I said it myself multiple times. They were supposed to change up their style. They were supposed to change up their characters. They never did. And they're still the Iconics. People still like them. I understand that. But they promised they would change, and they didn't even try the first time around. The second time they did to a certain extent, and then they just hit this and went back to the Iconics. And now we have them in AEW. No longer TNA, where they were catered to a certain extent because they didn't have that many women and tag teams. And now their asses are made. They literally got their butts kicked by the Brawling Birds. Flat out, they didn't play around. They kicked their asses 6 ways to Sunday. And that's what they deserve. I gotta get close. They think, if I got it right, they think they're gonna have the same thing as they did in TNA. Their asses are gonna wish they stayed in TNA, or better yet, go back to WWE and basically job the people there. Because simply put, the women on AEW, when they're really able to, will break your face. These two women are more character driven than they are wrestlers. And yes, Cass is better wrestler than Jess. But they got their asses destroyed. And that's the way it's going to be. Next. Excuse me. FTR segment. The non-touch order. Okay. I wish they'd shown their brother and their family harassed on Dynamite than Collision, but they didn't go there. So we will see this at Revolution. And that's a problem what they do on Dynamite. Let's make this clear. Yes, we got how many matches? 6 matches. Wouldn't have been better. Shouldn't have been better. Now we saw the segment of the Bucks having their family harassed by FTR. And since I am talking about FTR right now, and the segment was okay at the boardroom, at the table, it was fine. You now have Ciampa, who should have never gotten the TNT title, talked to by Renee, and then FTR saying, look, join us, become top guys. He said, 10 years ago, I hated you, and I still hate you. And he says, look, you want to be top guys? Join us. And he hits Dax in the face and threatens to mess up Big Stoke and insult this Big Stoke. So I don't know where they're going to go with this situation with Ciampa. They haven't even finished what's going on with the Bucks yet, and now they're working with Ciampa. Wouldn't it have been better if they just worked with Ciampa from the very beginning? Instead of throwing him the TNT title like it was nothing and making him lose it for 2 weeks later. I think that would have been better. Flat out, I'm telling you right now. Next. Let me give it to you like this. I really didn't care about Orange Cassidy, and look, I like Orange. I like Darby Allin. Do I care about Clark Connor? No. Do I care about Gabe Kidd, who is not a member of the Death Riders? When I hear Excalibur say that Gabe Kidd is a member of the Death Riders, why isn't he in the video segments? Why isn't he there when they need him? Why? Nothing. It's bullshit. I don't want to hear him being called a Death Rider member when he's not. He's not shown up in any of their programs, any of their matches, any of their segments. He doesn't go to them when he's in trouble. He wasn't even introduced to Clark Connor by them. They just threw him together and now they just keep using it. It's pissing me off. It's just pissing me off. Yeah, they got their butts kicked. I'm not surprised. But then we see Dave Finlay show up. Oh boy. Dave Finlay. Finn Finlay and the brother of the one who is Connor. Uber Connor. I forgot his name. Finlay's other son. Who was working with the Chase U. I'm like, really? I don't see much for him. I don't. Yeah, you can make a faction like the Bang Bang Gang. But I'm not feeling anything with the dogs, and I'm not feeling anything with Dave, because every time when they bring someone in really hot, they give him a whole bunch of matches, and then he disappears off the face of the planet. So Dave's son, or Dave, well, Finn Finlay's son, not Dave. Finn Finlay's son, I think the reason I'm getting him mixed up is because he should have went to WWE already. He should be working with his brother in NXT. Working the birthright. I'm being honest. I think the mic's over here. I am being honest, guys. He should have never joined AEW. He should have went straight to NXT and should be working with his brother. I'm sorry. He should be working with Connor. He should be. But it's just me. What do I want to say about Hangman Page destroying a jobber? Nothing. Nothing. It was just saying, I'm going to be destroying you, MJF. And that's how they set up the match at the end of the show for the Trios title. And I'm going to do it right now. The Trios titles, Jet Speed Radio, well, about to say Jet Speed Radio, Jet Speed Rodeo versus Don Callis family, which is Fletcher, which was Okada, and which was Dave. Mark Davis, actually. They lost. Now the Don Callis family has the Trios titles. Don't really care. They want more titles, let them have it. The question is, what are they doing with them? Now, also, we got a chance to have a quick talk between Bandito and Andrade El Idolo. Okay. It's not bad. But the question is, what are they going to do? I don't know. Let me say the last thing I'm going to talk about. I know there's more. I got to wrap it up, guys. My ankle hurts. Let me say this when it came to Thunder Rosa versus Tekla for the Women's Championship. I'm going to say this. I didn't believe anything about Thunder Rosa. This wasn't about her. This is about a more dangerous and more tougher Chris Statlander. When you saw after the fight was the match, it was more like almost a fight at one point than a match. A fight for Thunder Rosa to survive, even though she did do well. But I'm going to say this. If Thunder Rosa is not allowed to be built, to have some matches under her belt, to come back and show that she can still go, it's like a fight. Like a fight to prove that she's so relevant. And she lost. Wasn't surprised. Because AEW is not building their wrestlers correctly. But then you're having this stare-off between Tekla and a little bit of, what are they going to do with them now? Are they going to do a last woman standings match or steel cage match? They're already done a bell, what was it, strap match, not cowbell match. It would have been better if it had been a cowbell on it. But they didn't have that. It was just a strap match. But I want to say this. Do I believe in Chris Statlander? After this, I don't know. The way they've been building her lately has been lukewarm to bad, and then at one point she seemed to be going right, and then they stripped the title off of her. So I don't know. This was chaos, but not good. Chaos. And honestly, I'm like, I'm hoping that Revolution's good. Because if it's not, and even though there's going to be some people say this was good, it was chaotic in the sense that nothing was built correctly. Nothing was given long-term build. You're going into another pay-per-view, and you don't have much build in the pay-per-view. Yes, you're going to have Swerve dealing with Brody King, which won't be too bad. Yes, you're going to be doing something with Kateska dealing with with John Moxley. Yeah, I can understand that won't be bad either. But then it's like the championship. You just let Kevin Knight have a shot at it when he shouldn't have had a shot at all. And you didn't build on Brody King the way you should have. And you gave it to us. Good match, but it didn't mean anything either. So the big question now is, what will this show really mean? What? And isn't it supposed... If I'm remembered correctly, when it comes to MJF, he's supposed to have 5 diamond rings, not 6. If I remember correctly. Could be wrong. He could have 6. But I'm trying to remember, was it 5 or 6? Bandito should be honored with the next ring and only be the one to wear it. And he's still using the ring like he owned it. What is the point of the Dynamite Diamond ring if you show it on the previous guy who held it for 5 or 6 years? A new guy held it, and he's not even using it. He's not caring about it. But the guy who previously did is. You tell me how that makes sense. He should not be using it ever again. And he still is. They're not barring him from doing it. And Bandito, who went through all that to get the damn ring, feels irrelevant. But it's just me. Peace.